My brain doesn't really function properly now. Most of the time, it doesn't really manifest itself in real life or to any detriment of myself. Mainly, just like it makes me have some really abhorrent interactions with other human beings that I will remember for the rest of my life while they forget it. But that's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the one thing that just makes me go insane, and sometimes has caused me to just go absolutely delirious in my brain when I'm doing it. And that is when I just play games that are difficult, and it was kind of a letdown if you think about it. Now that I think about it, that made no sense. Big letdown. You thought I'd be building up this thing really cool, but no, it's just me being someone who likes grinding games. It's probably the biggest letdown and just most non-important thing ever of human history ever. The way that sometimes manifests is just me trying to get achievements in the game. I've gotten 100% achievements in three from software games in Sekiro, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, and those are the only three games that I've played of from software. 100% in Celeste. That was a really experience. I remember live streaming it for 7 hours. And the seventh hour, because I was like near the end, I was going absolutely delirious. I was literally just like hearing noises. I was seeing shapes and not really anything else. And you would think that like after the fourth hour, when I started to do this downturn, I would have stopped and I would have, valued my health and sanity. But it kind of gets to the point where just get stuck on it and I have to keep on going. It's like an addiction, but it's not an addiction because guess what? It's not alcohol. That's how it works. But anyway, aside from that, like a real terrible life take, the reason why I wanted to talk about this and kind of was in my brain is because there's a game I started playing again, and now it's not a game that I like am really shooting for getting all the achievements right now. I really don't know if I'm going to ever do it, but it's a game that I tried to beat for such a long time, and I really just couldn't do it, and it was driving me insane trying to do it. And that game is Dead Cells. Now, Dead Cells is a roguelike, I think, a roguelite. I think it's a roguelite because there's progression. I think that's the difference. Anyway, it's a roguelite where it is pretty fucking difficult, I will say. Now, spoilers, I guess, for anyone who wants to play the game and hasn't played it yet. The way it works is that you beat the boss for the first time, the final boss, the king on top of the castle, and then you get a boss cell, and that just makes it so you can put the game on one higher difficulty. And then you keep on doing that until you get the 5 boss cells, which is the most difficult thing in the game. And let me tell you, I tried to beat it on this difficulty for probably about 10 to 15 hours, and I just couldn't do it. It was actually so bad and such a miserable experience that I stopped playing the game for 7 months. And I usually don't do that. I usually will actually try to beat a game. If it has like a final ending that I want to get to, I will do everything in my power to beat it, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how much of a pain in the ass it is. I will do it. But for some reason, playing Dead Cells, I just didn't do it. And so my hiatus lasted for such a pretty long time, and it ended yesterday. I don't know why. For some reason, I wanted to play the game. It was kind of itching in my brain. I think it might have just been because the game was announced, or the developers were announced to be working on a Castlevania game, and it kind of reminded me of the game. And that little worm in my brain started activating and firing and controlling all the panels in my brain. And also another thing too is that when I was playing, I didn't have any of the DLC downloaded, and apparently at some point I did download all the DLC, so now I have all the DLC. So maybe there's better builds with the DLC shit. I don't really know. All I know is that I was randomly in Dracula's castle at some point. I was randomly playing Castlevania, and I was running at the Alucard. Don't really know what the hell was happening there. I was really confused most of the time, the entire time. I did fight death at some point, so that's kind of just another interesting thing that happened. But you would think, but instead of making the game, easing myself into it, I am playing on a lower difficulty. But instead of easing myself into it with just having me remember what I already knew, I decided, what if I just throw a bunch of random bullshit into the game and hope that I remember it, and also while learning these new things. And I think I had like 4 or 5 runs, and I only made it past the second boss one time. And then I immediately got to the place with all the powder kegs and killed myself. And so that run was just so good until I died. And now I'm not saying this is a 100% guarantee that in my troubles I'm gonna beat the game. The illness in my brain will finally take over and have me just bull rush into the game over and over and over again. I had like 50,000 hours into the game, and then I finally beat it. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that point, but right now I am in my brain in the disease zone. All right, that's what I'm calling it now. I won't ever call it that again. But there's just something going in my brain right now that makes me have to feel like I have to do it. It's like an obligation as myself, as a human being, to have to beat the game on 5 boss cells and then beat it. I do know, I got the spoilers for me. There's a final boss past the original final boss on 5 boss cells. I know I had to do that. I haven't seen anything about it yet. I just know that it's a thing that is there. It's gonna like truly beating the game, I think. That's kind of something I really wanted to talk about. And like a lot of the times too, when I do try to get like achievements or stuff, back to the achievements part, because I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. I will do it until a point in which it becomes unfair. Most of the time, that doesn't happen. The only time I've really ever dropped an achievement or a game like 1 or 2 achievements off has been for only 2 games: Ori and the Blind Forest, and then Everhood 2. The reason why I dropped Ori and the Blind Forest is because I just could not for the life of me get myself up to doing the beat the game without dying. 'Cause I can get both of the achievements in one run if I just do it on one life mode. But there are so many things in that game that just absolutely OHKO you that I just could not find the motivation after trying it like 10 times. And then the second game that I dropped is Everhood 2. And the reason why I dropped that game is because I was literally one achievement left. I had like 128. I needed 129 or something like that. And the only one was called Total Apocalypse, which I don't even remember what the machine is called, but it's basically just like a bullet hell that you have to do. And now, the thing that made me drop it, it was not that it was impossible, even though it was exceedingly difficult to do. And I got close so many times. It was apparently, for some reason, they buffed it. It is a single player game that you play by yourself. For some ungodly reason, they buffed a boss in the single player game. That made no sense to me. I literally was like trying it on the buffed difficulty because I hadn't played it before. I guess they buffed it, and I'm like, this just doesn't seem crazy. I'm like, it seems like I had to just get lucky with the way the bullets come. And then I look it up, and apparently those motherfuckers buffed the boss. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I just like misread the situation, but I'm pretty sure they buffed the boss, which made absolutely no sense for them to do, in my opinion. Because like, if you just accidentally make a boss easier in a single player game, tough shit, bad game design. Just on that part specifically, the game is fun other than that. But because they buffed the boss, it pissed me the fuck off that I'd never want to touch that game ever again because that is just unbelievable to me that they did that. That was kind of just like a side tangent that I had a side little rant of just me being mad and me being mad at because I'm bad and I don't have the motivation to do it. But that's just kind of really the only stipulations that I will get when I get myself to go for a challenge in a game or an achievement in a game. Is that if I feel some sort of injustice or unfairness or just do not have the the spirit in me to do it, then I will stop and I will quit. So maybe we'll see for Dead Cells. I don't think it's unfair. I think it's just really fucking difficult. But I think maybe I'll get this time around, especially because I think I've seen like a build or two that kind of is with the DLC weapons, and so maybe I win, maybe I don't. I really don't know. Anywho, that's just a little fun fact about me is that I'm a fucking psychopath who likes harming myself by going for achievements in video games and stupid challenges and stupid little things that don't matter. But that's about it. So, thank you for watching. Goodbye.